Do you use alcohol as a mask for confidence? Are you someone that wants to quit the booze but is worried about going to the pub or on a first date or being in an environment where you need to be confident in yourself but need to do it without alcohol now? If so, this video is for you. I've been 2.5 years alcohol free and I can honestly say that going alcohol free has made me more confident. In fact, when I learned the things I'm going to share with you in this video today, it transformed my sense of self. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. I create content every single week to support you on your sober journey. Okay, let's get started. So, since my teenage years, I had this belief that alcohol was needed to be confident. You're kind of taught it in a way in society that the Dutch courage, have a drink before an important meeting, which is kind of crazy. We don't do that anymore, thankfully. But that kind of sense of alcohol is something that's going to augment your sense of who you are. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you more interesting and more exciting and therefore more confident. Alcohol helps you feel that you go into that room and you can be this big version of yourself, this confident version of yourself. But the problem is, it's not real, and we all know that, which is why it creates a discomfort in ourselves. And it's why when you remove the alcohol, you think, oh my gosh, I need that. How can I go on this date, or how can I meet this person? How can I be in a situation without the booze? And the problem is it creates this like distance between who you are presenting yourself to be and who you truly are, because that version of you when you're drinking is an augmented version, right? There's a substance in the glass that affects your brain chemistry, is a very powerful modulator or adapter of your brain to make you be a different person in that situation. If you look back at footage of you drinking, you'll often see a very different version of yourself to who you are without it, and that's because it is a different version. And the issue that we have, I guess, growing up with using alcohol for confidence is that we never build that sense of self inside. That person that is truly you never gets the chance to grow and flex the muscles and learn and make mistakes and be vulnerable and therefore develop confidence. Because what confidence truly is self-acceptance. Confidence is being yourself, and to be yourself you have to accept yourself, whether that's the flaws, the good parts of you, the quirky parts, the funny parts, the brilliant parts. All of that needs to be accepted for you to be confident. Anything else is just pretending. And you see a lot of it in kind of traditional coaching around confidence, fake it till you make it, go into the room with this loud version and, pretend that you're confident until you are. And don't get me wrong, I think some of this does require a little bit of a leap of faith. The first time I went to a party, it was actually a work party after I stopped drinking. I drove there and had to kind of take a deep breath before walking in. And I did have to kind of push myself over the line. But it wasn't pushing myself over the line to pretend to be someone else. It was saying, come on, you've got what you need. You are who you are. You are enough. We can go into this room and you'll be fine. And I did that, and I was. And over time and through practice, I was able to go, and now I don't even think about needing to be confident. Don't get me wrong, I get nervous. When you meet people sometimes you do get that, which is normal. It's completely normal. But I do just accept myself now, and I'm like, I can go into a room and the people that want to like me will like me. Some people won't like you because that's life, or some people will find you more or less interesting, whatever it is. That is okay. But I'm accepting of who I am, and that is what confidence is about. So I think the really important thing when you stop drinking alcohol is, number one, realizing that alcohol wasn't real confidence, it was just fake. It wasn't real, it's just augmented, it's not you. So just going, actually, I'm not losing something here, it was never real. Okay, let that go and see this opportunity to build this person up that has not had that opportunity. If you're 25, so from the age of 18 to 25, you've not been able to develop that skill set of being confident with alcohol in these situations. So what we're going to do is going to build that person up. And the second thing we're going to do is that we're going to start with self-acceptance. It's learning to go, it's okay that I make mistakes. It's okay that I'm not going to get everything right. I'm going to make a joke sometimes that doesn't land. That's cool. I am who I am. The people out there who appreciate me will appreciate me for who I am. If I'm pretending to be someone else and people like that version of me, that isn't me. So you're not gaining from them liking you anyway. Either situation, they don't like you. You want to be around people that accept you for who you are. And it requires you to realize that on a deep level before you can step forward into being confident, because without that you can't progress. So I think some self-work is very important around questioning, like, what is it, why do I feel inadequate, or why do I feel not enough? Or what is it that about alcohol that helps me? Is it because alcohol makes me louder? Well, do I need to be loud to be confident? You know, some of the most confident people I've ever met in my life are those who are the quietest in the room, and they often have the most to say. They don't say a lot, but what they say is powerful, and they say it with certainty, or they say it with assurance, or, you know, with meaning. You do not have to be this loud person. So is it that society has taught us that because drinking culture is about being loud and noisy and all this kind of stuff and being a bit silly, have we got this wrong idea of what confidence actually is? Is it actually that we can just be ourselves, that you are someone that's got value, and you are someone that's got value, you've got something to say, that we can go into the room, we don't have to try and be really loud, we can find our place, you know, and our sense of self within that situation, and in time share the parts of us that we want to. That is confidence for me, and that comes from self-acceptance. So when you stop drinking, you know, and you let go of that, you start working and building this person up and remembering who you are, you can then start flexing muscles. You can start like going to the gym, lifting the weights to build the strength. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, you don't just quit alcohol, which you've used, you know, to help you be confident, and suddenly you're like, yeah, I can go into any room and I'm absolutely fine. You know, some people might, but most people don't. I didn't. It took me time. And even 2.5 years later, I'm still building and growing. And as I said, don't confuse any of this with I need to go to everything without nerves. Nerves are fine. They're normal. We need to stop demonizing nerves. If you feel nervous, go, cool, I feel nervous right now. That's because I'm going to walk into a room with 30 people that I don't know. No problem. The nerves will pass. They'll go. And they will. Within 15, 20 minutes of being in that room, they'll be gone. Nerves don't kill you. Okay, that's really important. But over time of practicing, you can build this confidence. And what I found is that by repeatedly putting myself into these situations, I was reaffirming what I already should know, that I do have value. And you do not need the external validation of someone saying, oh, you're a wonderful person to have that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's going to that room and realizing I can be in these environments with other people and come away feeling good in myself. Why? Because it was all there to start with. It's all within you. It's all here. Everything you need is within you. Esther Perel puts this very well, this idea that confidence comes from essentially accepting every part of you, the flaws, the vulnerability, you know, the vulnerability to be able to share things and be okay that people will react in different ways to that. That is what this is all about. And when you're able to do this, when you're able to go and realize that you are an imperfect person and that's okay, and you're able to share yourself with other people, that is when the confidence will come. And over time and over practice, trust me, it does come. The first few times is difficult, it gets easier, and eventually you will go into rooms and be like, cool, this is me. Take it or leave it. And that's the ultimate goal. I think in modern society, we are far too interested and worried now these days about validation for other people, our self-worth being in the opinions of others and what people think of us. That's not the goal, and that isn't what confidence looks like. What confidence is being able to be yourself and share the parts of yourself you want to share without feeling worried or ashamed or feeling that you're not worthy. And the impact here isn't just on yourself, it's on your relationships, because if your relationships are built upon you drinking, the person you are when you drink, and the augmented version of yourself that you present, are those connections deep? You know, I don't know if maybe that's controversial, but are they as deep as they can be if you remove the alcohol and that person saw you for who you are, and you're able to build this connection based on authenticity and be able to create that depth that comes over time? And that is the beauty. So it's not just about being able to be yourself and, you know, be in that room. It's what that means, and the type of people you attract, the type of people you'll spend time with, the relationships you foster with them. It makes an incredible difference, I think, to your life. And when I look back over the kind of 2.5 years, and gosh, 3 years will come around very quickly, I have seen that evolution of confidence, not just confidence in the room, but kind of an acceptance of myself. I think a lot of the reason that I drank alcohol was that I wasn't accepting myself. I didn't like parts of myself. I hated the flaws that I had. You know, I struggled with things like regret. But so much now, I'm like, well, this is me. I'm not perfect. I've got lots of good things about me. There's plenty of things that are not good about me. I'm working on them. I'm a work in progress. That's okay. When you're able to get to that place, it's an amazing place to be in your life. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Doesn't mean you have to never have doubts about yourself. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be feeling a little bit lack of confidence. Accept the fact that in some days you're going to feel great, other days you're not going to. But whatever happens, you're going to show the version of yourself that is true to who you are. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Have you found anything useful in terms of confidence and building a sense of self up? Let me know your thoughts. I'd be fascinated to hear. Also, thank you to those who have been suggesting titles for new videos or topics for new videos. It's really useful because I want to ultimately create content that is helpful to you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.